So good job by your line on Sunday, obviously 8 days ago. You have some position flexibility with Austin. I was joking because I asked this question to Frank. He didn't want to go there, so I'll try with you. With Austin, you obviously know, as Mike McDaniel said, he's a future right tackle. You had Brandon Shaw playing well there. You had Rob Jones obviously play well for you against Cleveland. Do you cross-train Austin this week at left guard just in case you decide to use him there, knowing he's played there before?
Yeah, I mean, some of those things we're probably going to keep under wraps. You know, I'm sure you probably understand that, expected that kind of an answer. But just at the end of the day, we're excited that Austin is getting healthy, and we think he has a bright future. And it was disappointing to see him go down in week one so early. I think he had a really purposeful offseason, and I really think he made a lot of strides. And I was excited to see him, get the reward of that, and he wasn't able to get that. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But he's been able to get himself healthy, and we'll see where we go with that.
And Rob Jones' skill set, Matt, what do you like about what he does?
Yeah, I mean, Rob Jones is a powerful guy. He can move people against their will. He does a good job anchoring and pass protection. I think he's just a physical player. He was worked really hard. He understands what we're trying to get done, and he's brought a lot to the table.
Matt, how would you describe Connor's evolution as a center through 10 games?
I mean, I think it's gone really well. I had high expectations for Connor playing center, so it's not like he's necessarily doing something that I didn't expect. Not to make light of it by any means, because I do think it's very difficult for somebody to make a position change, especially going to center, and you've never done it before. But we as an organization, we saw a skill set. I think I've mentioned that many times to you guys. We saw a skill set, both physically and mentally, that we thought he could really excel at the position, and all credit goes to him for putting the work in to continue to do so.
Matt, when you get a running back in, Jeff Wilson, how do you get acquainted between the running back and the offensive line? I mean, is there an adjustment period, or is it as simple as put him in, he runs the plays?
I think every situation is different. I think this is a unique one where he's coming in from a very similar system, so that made the transition way easier. And then just the kind of guy he is, me being around him, I mean, he's got great energy, brings you in really quickly, and I think all the linemen feel the same way. And then his play goes a long way too. It's not just having good play, but his style of play brings people along, excites people. People want to block for a guy like that. So he's been great.
What stood out to you about Rob Hunt? I don't think we don't ask you about him a lot because he's just so solid there.
Yeah, I mean, he's been solid all season. That Big Rob's a really good player, man. From the jump, I think we all thought that going into the offseason. I mean, he had a pretty nice season last year. So, I mean, he's worked his tail off, done everything we've asked, and he's been playing really well. And I think he has even more growth, and I think he would acknowledge that. And I know that he has really, really lofty goals for himself, and I think that's for a good reason. And, I'm doing my best to help him get there.
Matt, to follow up on Rob Jones, what is it about his personality? Because every single time one of us interview him in the locker room, everyone on the team seems so invested, whether it's Jalen Waddle, Tua. They just always seem so entertained by the guy. So what is it about his personality?
Yeah, he's just a fun-loving, good dude. I mean, it's really not that he's got anything super unique. It's just that he's just a really good guy. He enjoys being here, enjoys being around his teammates, and he's fun, and he cares, So who wouldn't want to go work with a guy like that, And he's got a big personality, so he's not just one of the guys that kind of hangs out by himself or hangs out with just a lineman. He's going to mess with everybody. So, no, I mean, I'm a huge fan of him too.
And then some of the other old linemen have been talking about Teron's off-the-field help with them, whether it's film study or technique. What has maybe Teron helped you with there? What has he taught you as a player? Coach relationship do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important as a coach to learn from your players, especially at this level, especially if you have veteran players like a Teron Armstead. So, whether it be a nuance to a technique and run or pass that may be something he either, learned along the way from a different coach or just learned along the way as a player. I mean, the reality is sometimes these guys figure it out on their own and they kind of build their own game. And then, as a coach, you can either ignore that or you can talk to them about it and talk through it and see if it's something you can build into your way of coaching everybody. So that's how I try to approach it, just trying to be in a growth mindset. But I've learned quite a few things from Teron. He's awesome in every way possible right now. Yeah.
You've given up 2 sacks in the past 3 games, I believe. What's been the biggest factor toward better pass protection?
I mean, I don't know if there's one factor. I know that sounds like a fence-sitting kind of answer, but I'm just being honest with you. I think that there's a lot of factors that come into play. It's not just one thing or one thing here. It's all 11 guys really on the field. It's not just the offensive linemen. Obviously, they play a major role in pass protection and take great pride in it like they should, but our quarterback's operating at an unbelievable level too, and that goes a long way. And so I just think at the end of the day, it's everybody buying into Mike and Frank's vision and working their butts off to execute the plan. We've been able to stay pretty clean in terms of health and build some continuity. Maybe that's helped as well, but at the end of the day, it's everybody. It's not just one thing for one position group.
And every week in the league, you see blitzers shake free. Anytime you turn on a game, you'll see someone who isn't picked up. You all obviously have been really good at that, especially during the stretch. Is that Connor identifying them? Is it two identifying them? What's led to that, Matt?
I mean, probably both, honestly. The quarterback and center relationship is really important. It goes for any football team at any level. I think those guys got a great relationship. You can watch them from afar and see that that's a genuine friendship, and they both really care about the success of the Dolphins, and they work really well together. Both guys make adjustments, but it's not just those 2 guys either. The running backs got to be there for their blitz pickups. So there's a lot of guys that play a role in that.